Hello, my name's Sam. I graduated from the University of York in 2015. I did my undergrad here in economics, ecology and environmental science, and I stayed here for my fourth year to do my master's in marine conservation too. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about accommodation, a bit about the rooms we have available, and a little bit about my experiences too. First of all though, because I graduated a few years ago, I'd like you to hear from some students who are still here now.
I'm Georgia, I'm in Vanbrugh College and I study English literature. So I was really nervous at the start, but then as soon as I met all my flatmates and realised how supportive and nice they all were, it felt like I had a new family that I could call like my uni family.
My name's Samuel. I am a first year student studying law. We have the forum, which is like our common room. It's got like PlayStation in, pool table, tennis table. My house is a house of 12. I'm in a shared bathroom, one between 3. It's cleaned every day, like absolutely immaculate. Many people might think that 12 is a lot, but you do have your own room and you do have that sense of individual space if you want to.
My name is Jasmine Damien. I'm a first year studying law and I live in Halifax. It has a very homely feel to it. It's kind of like its own little community, like they're all little courts. There was an option for me to live off campus and I think living on campus is the best decision. It's an easy way to get involved in a lot of things at uni and meeting new people, so I'm really glad that I stayed on campus.
My first name is Burak and I'm doing a PhD in computer science. I did my bachelor's in Istanbul and then I decided to do a master's outside my country. In my opinion, York is one of the best cities to live and study in the UK. I don't feel insecure at any time, and that's what I really like about York. I feel secure, I feel home.
I am James, I'm studying marketing and I'm in Langwith College. I picked York because I liked the college system. I see it as like a little community within the university that you belong to. It gives you something in common with someone at first who you don't know, like you can all say you're in the same college, and if not, it gives you something to talk about.
My name's Olivia, I'm studying English literature and I'm from Alcuin College. Favourite things about living on campus really is the things that Alcuin's got to offer. You've got like Free Fruit Monday, streaming the Game of Thrones, the football's always on, RuPaul's Drag Race, Dog Sock, so the Dog Society come in so you can just go and take a break from revision and go stroke the dog. All of this I didn't really expect to find when I came to live on campus.
I'm Joe, I study French and Spanish and I'm from Constantine. I did think about it before I came that it would be an issue to live on East and study on West, but honestly they're two different campuses but they're really close to each other. The walk is really nice, it only takes me like 20 minutes, but if it's raining or something the bus is really quick as well and it's a free bus. No matter where you are on campus, I think it's a really good idea.
I'm Revati Priya. I'm doing my MRes in psychology. The place where I come from is like a concrete jungle. It's just buildings and buildings. So the fact that it's filled with lakes and lush green surroundings, it really makes me feel good. Like, you know, being a psychology student, I believe healthy environment is important to have a sound mind.
So my name's Amy Lee, I study psychology and I'm at Constantine. The whole flat is like such a nice place and like all the people in it I get along with so well. Like the friends you make at uni are your friends for life, and I truly believe that. The friends I've made, I can't imagine ever being friends with them back home, but for some reason when I was here I just knew that they were going to be like my closest friends.
So now that you've heard from some current students, I want to tell you a bit more about the accommodation we have on offer. I'm going to start this off a little bit differently. I want to give you a bit of a paradox. So I'm going to tell you two things, both contradictory, but nonetheless, I think they're true at the same time. The first thing I'm going to tell you is it's just a room. If you've been to open days before or visited other universities, you've probably seen quite a lot of university accommodation. It's all going to start to look quite similar. Don't worry in that respect, because our accommodation is similar to that too. I'll go through the specifics, but my main advice will be not to worry too much, because it is just a room. The second thing I'm going to tell you, I'm going to contradict myself. I'm going to say it's not just a room, it's more than just a room, because there's two things at York which I think accommodation stands out in comparison to other universities, and for me, they're what made staying here stand out and all that much easier. So, if we get on with the first bit of the paradox, it's just a room. Most of you have probably lived in rooms at home before. Usually there's some combination of walls and a bed, usually 4 walls, a bed, some kind of desk. Some of you might be lucky enough to have an ensuite bathroom, some of you will share it with your family as well. Our rooms are all rooms in that respect too. They operate in the same way as any other room. All of our rooms, whichever room you live in, comes with the following though. Heating, electricity and water, the bill is included in your rent. 24-hour contents insurance, Wi-Fi and wired internet, it's 100 megabyte wired internet, access to a shared kitchen, weekly kitchen cleans, and Monday to Friday cleans if you're in a shared bathroom too. So no matter what accommodation you're staying in, across all the types we'll look at, all of this will be included in whichever room. All of our rooms, much like other universities too, come in different shapes and sizes. You've got ensuite and shared bathroom to look at, and we'll go through what that involves. You've got catered and self-catered, and you've got the different band types too. Notice though, they are all just rooms, and they all operate the same as rooms, but we'll go into a little bit more detail. One of the main things we get asked at accommodation is, can I have an ensuite room please, Sam? The answer to that really is we've got a 50-50 split between ensuite rooms and shared bathroom rooms. Ensuite rooms are exactly what you'd expect. They're your own bathroom, shower, toilet and wash basin in your bedroom. That's yours alone for you to use. Shared bathrooms are never as bad as you'd expect. They're individually lockable, used by one person at a time, and they have the benefit of being cleaned Monday to Friday by our cleaning team. Toilet rolls included as well. I was in the shared bathroom and I had a great time. Ensuite bathrooms obviously cost a little bit more. One of the things you might think about with that as well is you will have to look after them yourself. And in second year, most students do go off and live in the private sector. You'll be sharing a bathroom then with your friends, so maybe you want to practice that in first year. But the option's there if you want it. The next thing you might think about when choosing rooms is whether it's catered or self-catered. 3 of our colleges on Campus West have catering. There's some catering in Gaunt College, some catering in Vanbrugh College, and also all of James College is catered. Ours catered myself and I really enjoyed it. What that involves is Monday to Friday breakfast and dinners during term time included in the price of your rent. It's applied to a university card, you go down to the canteen, you zap it on the till and you pick from a choice of meals. For me it was great in first year because it was one less thing to worry about. I was already worrying about why I was here, did I pick the right course, are these people going to like me? So not having to worry about cooking dinner was a huge benefit. It's great for socialising too, making friends in your first year. We'd all knock on each other's doors for breakfast, go down, eat, head off to our lectures and meet back up again at dinner time. The other option is self-catered. You cook for yourself. If you really like beans on toast with cheese on top every day of the week, maybe that's the option for you. Or if you're an aspiring cook and you think you can cook better than our chefs, maybe that's something you'd like to practice. Whether you're catered or self-catered, you do have access to a shared kitchen, but if you're self-catered, you're likely to have a bigger kitchen because you're going to be cooking more of the meals throughout the week. One of my top tips would be, if you're self-catered, you can get your Asda, Tesco, whatever supermarket delivery down to your college reception, chip in with your mates, and then it's delivered to your door so you don't even have to walk there. The final option you might want to look at in terms of catering is our meals in advance deal. What that lets you do is effectively turn your catered package, self-catered room into a catered package. So you can buy termly batches of meal, whether that's a term's worth of breakfast, a term's worth of dinners, apply that to your university card, and that's available across 4 outlets across campus. So maybe just in your first term you'd like catering, maybe during exam season. It's a little bit more flexible and you can redeem it at different outlets. The final thing to talk about with catering is the weekly college meal. This is a thing sometimes people get confused about. All of our colleges on Campus East, included in the price of their rent, come with 1 meal per week included in their rent. And what that is each college has their own day. You can go down to the Piazza building on Campus East, our new restaurant there, and that's a chance to meet members of your college and get a meal cooked for you. But that is 1 meal a week. Otherwise, those rooms are self-catered, so that's something just to remember. The final thing to look at and the final difference between our accommodation is our room bands. I won't go into too much detail because I'd encourage you to take a look at the 360 tours online yourself and have a look at all the differences and the nuances. But the main difference are band 1 cheapest, band 4 most expensive. Band 1 and 2 are in some of our older blocks or more recently refurbished. You might see some of the brutalist buildings in Gaunt College if you're into your architecture there. And because of that, they are a little bit cheaper. Often you'll be sharing with a few more people than band 3 and 4 as well. Band 3 rooms are most common room type. They're more recently refurbished or newer than band 1 or 2 rooms. You're likely to share facilities such as your kitchen and shared bathroom if you have one with a few less people. Band 4 rooms are our newest rooms built in the last 5 to 6 years. That's Constantine and Langwith College. The main difference there, sharing with less people. If you're in a shared bathroom, you'll only be sharing with 3 or 4 people there. And in your kitchen, you have a sofa and TV area. You also have a double bed as well in your bedroom instead of a single bed. I believe it's a 3/4 size large double bed. The final thing when talking about room types, and as much as I've said it's just a room at the beginning, I'd like to say is if you do need a specific room type for any particular reason, just let us know and we'll do our best to help you out. Whether that's mental health, whether that's welfare, whether that's accessibility, or any types of reasons, if you need one of those room types we've just looked at, let us know in your application and we'll do our best to help you. All we ask for is you to fill out an evidence form signed by your doctor, get that in as early as possible, and then our disabilities coordinator will be able to help you out. Now, that's the first bit of the paradox out the way. It's just the room. We do have a range of different rooms and prices like most other universities, and they're all pretty similar in how they look and how they work to other universities. Now, it can be quite daunting at the beginning with all these different choices, but my main bit of advice would be not to worry. We do find most people, when they come here, they get involved in their lectures, they get involved in their studies, and their room really does take a bit of a back burner. There's lots of things for you to choose, but take your time, and ultimately you'll move in and you'll have a great time, and if you do have any problems, just get in touch. But now, to contradict myself, it's also more than just a room, because there's two things at York which I think make accommodation stand out, and it's not something that every other university can offer. The first thing is it's a room in a college. There's a lot of benefits that brings. The second thing is it's a room on a compact campus, and that's something as well which not every university can offer, and that's what made my time here all that much easier and more beneficial when I first started my life at university. So, to get on to the first one, you may have seen in some of our other talks about what a college is. One of the differences we get asked quite a lot is, Sam, what's the difference between colleges and accommodation? Your college is your accommodation. When you apply, we'll ask you to rank some rooms in order of preference. Those rooms will be in specific colleges. You can apply for multiple different types of rooms in the same college, or you can apply for different room types in different colleges. But ultimately, when we send you a room offer, that offer will be for a room in a college. You'll join that college and you'll become a part of it. The question we get asked a lot is, what's the best college? And really the answer to that is going to be the best college is the one that you're in, because that's going to be where you first find out about university life. It's going to be where you make your friends, and that's going to be where you get involved in everything that university have to offer. All our colleges have different personalities, but they're all there to do the same thing. Whether you want to get involved in activities and events and sports, that will be your first place for doing so. It's going to be where your pastoral care is. It's going to be where you're going to make your friends and where you're going to have your freshers week and everything like that as well. How involved you get with your college is really up to you, but they're all there to support you. And I think the best way to describe it is it's like a smaller community within the larger university community. When you're moving somewhere new, that's really helpful, fitting in, having something in common with a group of people when you come into somewhere strange and new. And for me especially, it made that transition so much easier. The second reason why I think rooms at York are in some ways more than just a room is that room is in a college, but that college is on our campus. One of the things you should value, now it sounds cheesy again, but when you come to university is your time. 3 or 4 years, depending on your course, is going to fly by. It may not seem like it now, but it's already been 5 years since I graduated and it still feels like yesterday. The benefit of being on campus is that everything's so close and so accessible. It's a bit like when I try and go to the gym, sometimes the hardest part is just getting there. If your room's a 5-minute walk away from an event or an activity that's happening, you can turn up, and if it's rubbish, you can walk home. Makes getting to study places easier, makes getting food and drink easier, and it's a maximum 15-minute walk across Campus West. And there's a free bus between Campus East and West as well. It comes every 15 minutes or so too, and it's a 3 or 4 minute bus ride. Your colleges and your rooms, it's important to know, aren't dictated by what you study, so you can apply to stay in different colleges. Doesn't matter where you study. Some people like to live on Campus East and commute in a little bit on that bus, 3 or 4 minute ride to Campus West. Other students like to roll out of bed, live right next to where they study. The choice is yours. But really, the benefit of living on a campus is it makes trying new things and accessing study and making use of your time that much easier. It makes you get the most out of your time too. And the final thing, which I think makes York stand out accommodation-wise, is that campus is right next to the city of York. York was voted the best place to live in the UK by the Sunday Times in 2018, and I'd be inclined to agree. It's an easy walk or cycle ride, about a half an hour walk, 15-20 minute cycle ride depending on which way you go into the city centre, or the bus which goes between campuses. You can purchase a ticket and pop into town too. York's one of those cities, probably gets said a lot about a few cities, but I think coming here from Cornwall in my case is why I liked it. It was because it's big enough to have a lot going on, but it's small enough so that you don't feel you're not a part of it. And to me that was really important. It's a good mix of historic and modern, and ultimately it's a really nice place to live. I came here from Cornwall all those years ago and I still live here now, if that's any testament to how much I like it. But the campus, which is right next to such a good city, is also a huge benefit of living here. So finally, now I've told you about the different rooms and the options we have and some of the reasons why I think it stands out at York, and You should consider that as a choice in accommodation when applying for universities. Slightly less interesting, but more important bit, applications and how does it work? The good news is that applying for accommodation is pretty simple. Once you've accepted a course place through clearing or adjustment, you'll receive an email with your U at York login details. You can use these details to log in online to the accommodation application system. When you log in online, you'll be asked to check your details and then rank the room types in order of preference. If you're able to make your room offer, we'll take these preferences into consideration. The preferences you see may be slightly different to those listed on our website, as the application system has been open for a while, and the preferences will be based on the current availability of rooms. If you'd like to see how the application system works, you can find a video on our How to Apply webpage. One thing to remember is that it can take up to 48 hours for our systems to update. So, if you can't log in straight away, try again the next day, and if you still have problems after 48 hours, get in touch and we'll be able to help. You can contact us via live chat, email and telephone throughout the day. One bit of advice is to make sure that you update your email on UCAS to one that you'll have access to, as we wouldn't want you to miss any important emails about accommodation. In terms of finding out further information about guarantees and deadlines for clearing and adjustment accommodation, it's a good idea to keep an eye on our clearing and adjustment webpage, which will be updated with the latest information. We suggest you apply for accommodation as soon as possible, as it will give our team the best chance of assisting you in identifying available options. You're not locked into paying anything until you've accepted an offer of a room, so your best bet is to stick in an application right away and keep an eye out for when we get in touch. The final thing we sometimes get asked about is what do you do for accommodation after first year? Majority of students still do move off campus. There's quite a lot of private sector rented areas, predominantly let to students in town and around the campus. That's what I did myself. Had 5 friends who had a house and 5 of our friends got a house next door, so that was quite a lot of fun. It's good for being independent, trying new things, organising bills and that stuff. And it's still what the majority of students still do. The Student Hub held a housing fair each year where we invite private sector landlords and they can give advice and you can organise viewings as well. And the Student Hub will also help you if you need to look at contract and any help with things like that. But it's worth knowing that if you do want to apply to live on campus after first year, you can do that. Usually around Christmas time, after we've allocated to first years, we'll open up accommodation to second and third years. Main difference between that and first year is it's a first come first served basis. So you'll apply for the room type you want, put in your application, and then if we've got that room, we'll send you an offer. One thing you can do is you can apply for a group accommodation in second or third year. So if you've made 2, 3, 4, 5 friends and you want to live on campus again, you can submit a group application and we'll try and house you together. It's worth noting that we are building new accommodation over on Campus East as well. The first set there is due to be finished by 2021, so it will greatly expand the amount of accommodation we can offer to second and third years then too. And really, that's everything I have to say about accommodation. So I'll just finish off with a little story about when I first came here. I drove up from Cornwall with my dad. We opened the door to my room and it really was just a room. There's 4 walls and a bed and there wasn't much else in there. My dad said, good luck, and he left. But I put my stuff in and it became my room. And that room was in my college, Derwent College. And it was the best college because I was in it. And it was where I made my friends and it was where I first got introduced to university life. And that college was on our campus, which made it so much easier for me to try new things, get involved in university life and make the best use of my time. And that campus was right next to the historic city of York, which I'm proud enough to call my home after moving up here all those years ago. And when you move into your room, it'll be just a room too. But you put your stuff in and it'll become your room. And your room will be in your college and it'll be the best college because it's the college you're in. And that's where you're going to make your friends and that's where you're going to get involved in university life. And that college will be on our compact campus too, which will make it so much easier for you to try new things and make the most of your time. And that campus is right next to the historic city of York, which hopefully one day you'll learn to love as much as I do. So that's it. That's all I have to say about accommodation really. I would say check us out online at york.ac.uk/accommodation. You can always send us an email, live chat or call us up as well if you have any questions. Take a look at 360 tours as well. And thank you very much for listening.